Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes.
It's another great day here at the Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes studio. Hello, I'm John Ondo, along with my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
She has a side hustle of a cupcake business here at the house. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a commercial producer, documentary guy who also consults media with a lot of different people right now. Today, we are going to discuss the 4 most common social media problems for small business. You have been rather busy in the kitchen upstairs at the Angel's Custom Cupcake headquarters.
I have.
You actually had a call the other day for somebody who wanted a cake right now.
It was interesting. So I had got a phone call. I recently had my second cataract surgery to fix my other eye, so now I have a matching set.
Yay.
Which will mean my stuff will be even more perfect, I guess. I don't know. But someone called and I answered the phone. It wasn't a bot, but it was like, she goes, hi. She goes, I was calling to see if I could get a cake. She goes, the only condition is that I'm looking for it today. Now, this was like at 2:00 in the afternoon. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm not disclosing on all of my sites, that I am a home bakery. But I was like, I am so sorry. I mean, and knowing me and who I am, I would have said yes had it been any other day. But since I was still coming down off of Valium and some other things, I thought...
Legal drugs you were on, yes.
I dare say it was probably, I said, I am so sorry.
Not nearly as funny as the previous eye you had done, which you were out of it.
I would call that one, I blacked out for the most part.
You were in a loop of repeating the same story over and over again.
This time, I woke up during the procedure.
Yeah.
Which was not fun.
No.
Only because they kept saying, look here. And I'm like, I know in my mind, I wasn't saying anything, but I'm like, where? I can't see.
You're sticking things in my eye.
So, yeah. But I'm healing and recovered. But I did learn something new. And it was more of a friend of mine just celebrated a birthday. And she... her son is her youngest, her baby, is about to move away, just like John's eldest is about to move away next week.
Part of the whole insanity of our life right now. I have a daughter going to college, and she's also joining the Ohio National Guard. She's actually at that thing, and we were all excited to see her get sworn in, and we found out we can't go. We're not allowed because of COVID.
Oh, yeez. But so she's been struggling, but it was her birthday, so of course she was not feeling too good. And she's got celiac, so I wanted to make her some gluten-free cupcakes. So I normally use this lovely kind of, it's a 1-to-1, you can use any recipe and just basically 1-to-1 ratio, and you can make something gluten-free.
You mentioned that in one of our earlier episodes, how to do a gluten-free recipe, and you've got this cool little 1-to-1 ratio thing.
But I was very disappointed because normally I use it with chocolate, because chocolate's kind of the go-to for gluten-free, because it masks some of the lack of gluten, I guess.
As John Panetta said, I don't know what gluten is, but it tastes good.
Exactly. Well, I was very disappointed. I made some cupcakes. They were little bricks. I was like, what the heck? This is not okay. So I started doing some Googling, and I found a very simple recipe. So those of you out there who are gluten-free, who go and spend $5 on an item from a lovely bakery of your choice that it has gluten-free items, you can actually make them yourself with... If you think about it first, do a little research on our good friend Pinterest, I found a very simple recipe for the same basic type of flour mixture, if you will, but that can be used in many different recipes as a 1-to-1. So it was very simple it was brown rice flour, it was potato starch, tapioca starch, and this lovely fun stuff called Xanthan gum. And I just went down a trip to Whole Foods and said, you know what, Angel's Custom Cupcakes is going to just make an investment. And I bought the flour, bought the stuff, bought those things, mixed them all up, and made probably the best set of chocolate gluten-free cupcakes that I've ever made.
Now, you know what,
I will never ever use that other stuff again.
You know what I'm going to ask you? I need to have that information so I can put it in the show notes.
Yes, I can get you that information
Thank
because
you.
it was very, and there's all kinds of different recipes.
Again, this is for, in case you're just tuning in or wasn't paying attention, this is for gluten-free. It's a good gluten-free recipe that anybody at home
Correct.
who needs to be gluten-free can make for cupcakes.
Correct.
Probably could work it into cakes, I'm assuming, as well.
Yes, exactly. So that was the recipe that I was looking at. So this would be, this type of, this mix or this ratio of different flours together would make really, is really good for cakes or cupcakes. But it said there's different other ones or other types of combinations that may be better suited for a muffin or a cookie.
I'm trying to remember, do you promote on our website for angelscustomcupcakes.com that you do gluten-free?
I think it's mentioned.
Because it seems
to
like
be honest, but
you
I don't
do a lot of gluten-free, it seems like. Maybe it's just me.
I think it's because we have a
client
very dear friend who
orders a lot of cupcakes.
Who orders often, and he's the gluten-free guy.
But it does seem like when we look at our circle of friends, which I think are a fairly common demographic, we have a couple who are vegan, not by choice. They can't do things.
Yes.
And a few gluten-free. Obviously, we have several, like everybody does, diabetic friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cupcake challenge, and what's beautiful about the free market system is that we're creating these wonderful snacks and things that can make a person who thinks, I can't have anything. Oh, no, there are options now. And even if you can't, call Angel up, you can make some of this yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's what I was trying to say is that, Pinterest is a beautiful thing. I'm sure I could have Googled it and found the same or similar recipes. They're all slightly different. But again, I made this mixture and it says it's pretty much good in a container for 2.5 to 3 weeks. So I definitely think it's worthwhile, and I'm going to try the other stuff that I purchased that wasn't cheap, and I think I'm going to try cookies with those. I've never done a gluten-free cookie before because that was always kind of like, but I think maybe this other mix that I bought that's pre-made might be better for a cookie versus a cake from the density perspective that I ended up with. So
we're going to be going into a season on Marketing Media Cupcakes. We were doing a lot of stuff. Obviously, we still are always doing things with small business, and we're going to talk about some media things that you should be doing if you're having problems with your media. So I'm going to try to give you some counsel on that. We've been talking about fear throughout the season and so forth. But we're going to focus a little bit more, especially on the folks that do the home baking. I've got some exciting guests that I'm hoping are going to be coming together here in the next couple of weeks. So for those of you who are we have a lot of people who are the media folks, and we have a lot of people who are just like the small business, and some people who love the baking. And, maybe I should do some barbecue stuff at some point. Maybe I should get Malcolm on some point.
Oh, my goodness.
I love Malcolm Reed. Go to YouTube. He's my barbecue spirit leader.
Killer hogs, my friend. Killer hogs.
Oh, my gosh. But we love food here at the Ondo household. And
yes.
So we want to help you and encourage you with your kitchen. Use your kitchen. The kitchen is a wonderful thing, and I know a lot of people have been thrown into it because of COVID.
Yes.
And we're, but the kitchen's a beautiful place, and it's so much fun to do those things. And I don't get to do much in the kitchen because Angel is the queen of the kitchen. And when I go, yesterday when she wasn't feeling well, I said, "Do you want me to make you something?" And she was, and I went to go do something, and the look on your face was like, "Please don't make me anything."
No, I did not. First of all, it was a text. Second of all, you wanted to make French fries in the air fryer, and I was trying to explain it to you.
That was later.
And then you were like, "Forget it."
Yeah, I was. Well, for one thing, the air fryer, the French. I didn't know this. I started up the air fryer at 390, and a 20-minute countdown began. And
that's the default.
Well, that's fine, but and then you told me it had to go in there for 15 minutes and flip it in 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay,
no,
I can walk to McDonald's and get the fries faster. So
he wasn't really listening, and it was late, and he just was over it, so he had potato chips instead.
It's been that was for me, but I wanted to do something. I did make you a chicken sandwich.
You
thing,
did make me a
which
sandwich.
Took 15 seconds in the microwave. And
exactly,
it
was lovely, and I do appreciate it.
Well, it's not that I don't love being in the kitchen. It's just been a time issue lately. So
correct, John has no time. If you've heard the adage, one-arm paper hanger, that would be him.
I feel like that constantly. So Anyway, so that's the latest. So if you want more information about these cupcakes, look in the show notes, and also you can find everything out about Angel's Custom Cupcakes at angelscustomcupcakes.com.
Yay!
We're going to talk about the most common problems that small businesses deal with digital marketing and media. So you have some of those questions. You were going to ask me a few of these because they relate to some of the businesses with your business.
Yes.
But I know it's a common problem across the board, whether you're in a nonprofit, a commercial business, small business. A lot of these answers are actually the same. So go shoot away, and I will try to answer as best I can.
What do you do when you don't have enough time?
That is a very common problem. But when you're dealing with your media, and this is the hard part, and I'm probably gonna hit some people here in spots they don't want to be hit in. The problem with all of us is we tend to like the things we do, and we like seeing the things we do. So all of us typically love posting and creating media on our social media pages or videos. And it takes time and some effort to do that. And often what happens, I see, is people just threw something up. Not throwing up physically, but they actually just took a picture and put it online because they know they want to see the picture of the cake or the picture of the garden or whatever it is, their the roof if they're doing a remodeling. And the problem is you have to be a little bit more intentional to that, and it takes time. But unfortunately, most people are like, hey, I want to really show this off. I'm like that. If I work on a project, I throw, a quick video up and say, hey, this is something we just did. But you have to be intentional about it, and the lack of time hurts because this is something that you really need to let someone help you with that has a different set of eyes so that you are communicating the right message. You could be putting stuff out there that you think is really funny and really cute, and it might be like, okay, you're a funeral home. What are you thinking? So I'm serious. It's like people just think this is cute and funny. So lack of time is one of the biggest killers to improper media. If you don't have time and you don't have a skill set for this, and you can't prove to me you have a skill set in the sense that you understand graphics, you understand how to communicate and write, you really should be thinking about having someone else help you at least do it properly. Doesn't mean that they have to do it for you, but you have them at least help you do it properly.
So does that then roll into the second one that we have that seems to be a problem, which I'm hearing very directly is consistency?
Oh my gosh. Consistency is brand, okay? And let me explain to you what I mean by that, especially if you're a small business. You'll get this. When I say Target, what do you think of?
I think of the store I love around the corner.
What do you see in your head?
A big giant red bullseye.
The red bullseye. You see white. You see red. You see a look to their graphics. You could, if I say Kohl's, you instantly, even though they changed the color of their logo to the season, you know that Kohl's logo. You know when you open that mailbox,
yep,
that's a Kohl's mailer. I've got maybe 30% coming to me.
Yep.
So that's the brand. It's consistent, and this is the problem I find with most small businesses and a lot of people small business owners are entrepreneurs, as we are, and the biggest problem that happens with entrepreneurs is we all just love changing things. You got to stop and be consistent, and you have to. I was talking on the phone last night with a wonderful lady who's a pastor who's going to do some new ministry stuff, and she was like, "What should I do?" And I said, "Keep it simple." The KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I didn't say stupid to her because I didn't feel like it was right, but it's, keep it simple. Look at Apple. Again, I say the word Apple. White screen, Apple logo. They don't even put the word Apple. We sell computers. You just know it's Apple. Now, granted, Apple is a big company, but if you're smart, just be simple. Angel's Custom Cupcakes has a cupcake logo. We try to be very clean. Don't clutter. Be consistent. You can change colors for seasonal things, but keep the same fonts, keep the same logos. If you don't like it, if you think you need to do a brand change, then work that out with some people that have some experience with it. And once you get that new brand, lock it. Don't change it. Hold it for at least 3 to 5 years. Don't go changing your brand.
So we've talked about, again, lack of time, which we always run into. Being consistent, having a consistent message, if it's being a consistent whether it be a logo or color combination. But then
Yeah.
it kind of rolls right into the next one of creating content. I mean, how can you, if you don't have the time and you're not consistent, how do you get that? How do you create that information so you can be consistent with the time you do have, so that you're creating the appropriate content to hit your target audience?
There's typically two thoughts that go into content. I'm trying to attract people who don't know who I am, or I'm trying to attract or reaffirm people that I already know who I am. So, and oftentimes entrepreneurs will say, well, why do I want to waste my money trying to attract people who already know who I am? Let's go out and get new customers. And the problem is there's maybe a reason why they aren't your customers. Maybe you are again, let me go back to a contractor, because we have our friend contracting working with us right now. If he's a roofer or if he's a master craftsman, they do remodeling. Maybe they work on $300,000 houses, and you're marketing, well, let's reach more customers. Well, probably if you don't do it smart, you're ending up reaching out the people who are renting or apartments, and you're getting the wrong customers. But you're reaching new customers, but they don't have the houses that you remodeled. So you have to have a marketing person help you with that content. This is hashtagging. This is how you do stuff on LinkedIn. It's how you word things. And that's where people like myself, especially in the areas of video, and there's other people who are specialists in social media, what memes you put up, when you put them up. Most people aren't home thinking about remodeling their homes on Wednesday evening. But they sit around on Saturday thinking, I like what the Joneses did with their house. How did they do that? And they start looking at Instagram or Pinterest. Mm-hmm. So it needs to be somebody who thinks outside the box. And again, how does the audience work? You have to have somebody who understands that market and then not only that, but track what you're doing. So when you put a picture up for cupcakes, how did it do? What time did you post it? And so forth. There's a lot of math involved, unfortunately, in this.
Kind of subtle nuances of what makes sense and when.
Yeah.
And there's a few things, again, that you can click on or choose when you're doing certain posts. At least on Instagram, it tries to help you kind of target a little bit. But I've run a few ads and had likes, but zero business as a result.
And this is part of the problem, and this is part of the headache we all have in the media consultant world. Facebook is not consistent with its advertising.
No.
I recently spent $50 on running an Ondo Media ad. It went on Facebook and Instagram. I got a lot of likes. I got a lot of comments, but I didn't get any customers from it. Now, that's okay. I know that you getting new people on your Facebook, getting new people to follow you on Instagram helps, but you have to think through, what is my expectation? If your expectation is I'm gonna pay $50 for a Facebook ad, and I'm gonna pick up $2,000 in business, probably not a good expectation.
We've got the lack of time. We've talked about consistency, creating the appropriate content, but as you just kind of alluded to a second ago about running an ad and you saw some likes, but it's the final one, which is tracking results.
Yeah.
That is the part where when I ran an ad the last time on Instagram, I'm looking at it and it says, oh, you had this many people that were women of this age that looked at it. I'm like, well, huzzah that they looked at it.
Yeah.
But I have no clue of what am I doing from a media perspective that I can truly track the result to come back. Because when I ask people, how did you find me? It's very rarely that, I saw you on Instagram.
Right.
Oh, I saw an ad you ran. It's usually because they Googled or something.
They found you on Yelp.
So how do you track those results?
Which is great that that's happening. When you talk to anybody who's trying to acquire new customers, there is a cost to that. So, for example, I'm spending about $400 a month right now with a group of people who are helping me with my SEO, in local Google search. And so I'm spending $400. I'm probably spending money in I mentioned I bought a Facebook ad and so forth. So you start adding that up, and then the question becomes, when I get 1, 2, or 3 customers, let's just say I get 4 customers from that. So my price to get a new customer is $100. For some people, that's okay. If I'm selling a cupcake, that's not working too well because they're buying a $4 cupcake. But on the flip side, in my case, most of my videos start at the $2,000 mark. So one customer equals, if they come back and they buy something, that's $2,000. I spent $100 to get that lead. So that's where the math comes into play with your business. And I don't know your numbers. You know and hopefully you know your numbers. But if you're spending $50, if you're spending X amount of dollars and you do the math, well, I picked up 50 new customers and it cost me $50 per customer to do that, and you're making, so that's not bad because you always think in terms of if they return, then you're making money without having to spend money to get them.
It really comes down to where did you find me? I mean, because I get that, at anything where when I'm seeking out someone and I'm online, there's always that question, where did you hear about us?
You must know where they're coming from. So if you are spending money with somebody who's doing your website, and I'm dealing with this right now with a client. I don't have a decision for them yet, but they have somebody who's redoing their website. And their website could use some zhuzhing up, as we say. Mm-hmm. But most people, I don't think, are going to their website. I think they're going to their social media. So I'm not sure why these folks are wanting to invest time on the webpage.
Sure.
I don't think it's their main net, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So these are questions you have to ask yourself. If you're spending a lot of money for somebody who's rebuilding your website and they're constantly rebuilding your website, but you hear, I found you guys on Facebook, I found you guys on Yelp, you have to start asking, why am I spending money on this website that nobody is finding? And you might say, well, I want people to find me on my website. Well, if they're finding you on Yelp, that's great. And there are other ways people can find you. Most people will find you through a Google search. But at the end of the day, did you get some phone calls from people? And it doesn't mean they signed on the dotted line, but did you get some more phone calls? Are you getting more leads? And that should tell you that I'm spending my money in the right place. If it's not working, you should think about ditching it. No matter how good they say that they're doing and they're helping you, if at the end of the day, you're not sending out invoices, you're sending out checks to companies that are trying to help you. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah. So again, the four most common things that, small businesses run into, again, lack of time, a consistent message or being consistent with your media, creating the appropriate content or managing your content, and then making sure you're tracking the results of that content. And I think, again, which then circles back, as everything does, back to having enough time. So it is a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, and it's also the unfortunate, and I hate to sound like that, where people will think, I can do this myself. I know I can't do plumbing. I hate plumbing. For the most part, it's just better for me to call someone else and get it done in an hour versus me fiddling with it for a weekend. With your social media, with your business marketing, it is best for you to at least have a consultant, someone, even if it's a friend who knows marketing, and you can buy them a beer and tell them, hey, could you help me out with some things? I do that with a lot of people where I don't even get paid. I just, hey, think
John
about this.
John is a fountain of free advice.
You need to let, especially in marketing, what I call another set of eyes. Don't do it yourself, and don't copy other people with what they're doing, because they could be doing it wrong as well. So those are just some free advice for you. If you want to find out more or ask us questions, or if you want to rebut everything I've said, you're welcome to.
Or if you want to be a guest.
Or just be a guest. John@ondomedia.com is my email. You can let us know. That's JOHN@ondomedia.com. It's in the show notes. And we would love to hear from you. We are here to encourage small business. I believe more than ever, this is a season for small business. Be encouraged. Keep plugging. And just ask some advice. That's all we have for this edition of Marketing Media Cupcakes. Please subscribe, like us on our Facebook and Instagram page, and keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram, and let us know your thoughts. Marketing Media and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.